Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, me in and then join in the fun. Travel all over Australia.
With all the interest in our convict days, we've been asked to film Port Arthur, the penal settlement in Tasmania. We're going there to show you what there is there today.
And then we're going to take a close-up look at the amazing world of insects, in particular the life cycle of the mosquito. We bring you this story from Victoria, in fact right in the heart of Melbourne. The story of the mosquito is a lot more interesting than you may think.
Then we go all the way to Western Australia to follow the iron ore train in through the desert. It's the longest train in Australia.
It's pretty hard to walk through the Australian bush on any summer's evening without getting bitten by a few mosquitoes. But I haven't really thought too much about the mosquito. Mr. Wallace has, though. Mr. Jerry Wallace, that is, from Adelaide in South Australia. He writes to us and says, I've seen many of your wildlife films on TV and enjoyed them, but we haven't seen much on insects. So I would like to suggest that you show us the life cycle of the common mosquito. I've been bitten by them often enough, but don't know much about them. Well, the common mosquito is pretty difficult to bring to you on television, but we are going to bring a very special one. It's one that's being studied by the Victorian Plant Research Institute at Burnley in Victoria. And we've come here today to talk to entomologist Gary MacDonald, who's studying mosquitoes. Gary, you're not studying just the ordinary mosquito, are you?
No, that's right. Yeah.
What's the one you're studying?
Oh, we're studying the species which carries the encephalitis disease, Mariabelia encephalitis.
But the life cycle of that is pretty much the same as any ordinary mosquito, isn't it?
That's correct, yes.
Well, that's what Mr. Wallace in Adelaide's interested to know about. So what's the first stage? For instance, how do they mate?
Well, mating takes place at dusk or just after dusk. The males form large swarms and generally the female flies straight in and mates and then flies out again.
So they mate on the wing?
That's correct, yes. Well, very often.
And then once they're mated, what happens? Do they lay the egg straight away?
Well, no, after mating, the female generally seeks a meal of blood for which she needs before she can lay her eggs. And the period of development of the eggs is about 3 to 5 days after the blood meal is taken.
So it actually needs blood before the eggs can be laid?
That's correct, yes.
And so, but don't they need blood all the time? I thought blood was their food.
No, mosquitoes, male and female mosquitoes, live off natural sugars and nectars that they find in the wild. And blood's purely a source of nutrient prior to egg development.
So it's only the female that needs the blood?
That's correct, yes.
Oh, so it's always females that bite us, not males?
That's right,
males.
yes.
Oh, I see. Gary MacDonald's work with the Victorian Plant Research Institute gives him the unenviable job of spending much of his working day in a laboratory full of mosquitoes.
Could you just take some numbers with me, please? 3 out of 5, G13. 2 out of 5.
Although the occasional mozzie breaks free, most, fortunately for Gary, remain in their cages, where the temperature and humidity are carefully controlled and monitored to provide ideal breeding conditions. When ready, the female lays her eggs on the surface of the water. The Biting their host to extract blood, the females ensure that the next batch of eggs are highly charged with food concentrate, and soon a fresh egg raft will be laid. A complete life cycle for these remarkable insects takes only a few weeks, and all under the watchful eye of Gary MacDonald, who says he's even developed a kind of affection for them after such a long study.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be right for me if it's true.
There's one more question I would like answered. Now, during the winter months, we don't see many mosquitoes about. Do they disappear, or what happens? They must go to some kind of dormant stage, do they?
Yes, the adult mosquitoes often, depending on the species, seek some refuge which gives them protection from a lot of the cold, cooler temperatures and predators, which may be hollow logs or under bridges or even rabbit warrens, often enough. Other species of mosquitoes overwinter in the larval state, and they sort of disappear into the lower layers of the water and the mud.
Well, thank you, Gary. That's been most interesting. And I think it's time to say thank you to Mr. Wallace for a most interesting question. I didn't realise that the humble mosquito had quite so much to offer.
We have a letter from Jenny Steele of Binnaway, New South Wales. She asks, why was Port Arthur Penal Station in southeastern Tasmania built, and why was it only in use from 1830 to 1877, and what is it used for now? Well, Jenny, Port Arthur is now a famous tourist attraction in Tasmania. It was originally built to house convicts who had committed crimes in Van Diemen's Land after their transportation from England. It became the industrial centre for the colony. The most impressive ruin left is the church. Used by several denominations, it was never consecrated. 1,200 convicts used to pack in here on Sundays for services. It's said those from solitary confinement sang the loudest, after weeks of silence in dark cells. After the settlement closed in 1877, several bushfires were allowed to burn uncontrolled through the area, leaving a lot of buildings in ruins. Even the town's name was changed to Carnarvon to try and remove the stigma attached to Port Arthur. Gradually a tourist traffic developed as a craze for collecting old leg irons, bricks and convict-made articles became popular. This was the penitentiary. It housed 500 convicts. 12,500 men and boys served their sentences in Port Arthur, but no more than 7,000 convicts at one time. Port Arthur is situated on Tasman Peninsula in the southeast of Tasmania. The peninsula is connected to Tasmania by a narrow strip of land called Eagle Hawk Neck. A cordon of dogs and soldiers guarded this only escape route. The convicts were too frightened to swim across the channel because of the rumours of man-eating sharks that had been circulated by the authorities. However, this didn't stop some of the convicts. A few did escape by swimming. The guard tower was used for several purposes. It housed cells on the ground floor for condemned prisoners awaiting transportation to Hobart for execution. Above this was the guard room. The tower was also used as a lookout. Today, historic Port Arthur is Tasmania's most popular tourist attraction and is under the control of the National Parks and Wildlife Service. This is Mount Tom Price in Western Australia. Trains hold a fascination for boys of all ages, and there are quite a lot of railway historical societies in the country. And judging by the number of letters we've had about trains, there are a lot of train lovers about. One letter we had from 6-year-old Ben McCarthy of Marmong Point in New South Wales brought us all the way over to the Hamersley Ranges in the northwest of Australia. Ben wrote, "I would like to see a film all about the longest trains in Australia. The huge trains that take the iron ore from the Hamersleys to the coast are reputedly the longest and heaviest trains in the world. With 3 locos, they haul 186 ore cars. When fully loaded, this train has a gross load of approximately 23,000 tonnes. Hamersley Iron have experimented with loads of up to 240 ore cars, with a total weight of 30,000 tonnes, but these are not the general rule. With 8 trains a day making a 300-kilometre trip from Tom Price to Dampier, coordination of the trains is of paramount importance. All trains are in constant radio contact with a centralised train control room at Dampier on the coast.
Train control.
Is that you, Phil?
Affirmative.
Sperry at the 226.
Sperry at the 226. Can you clear Possum by 12:10?
Now we're nearly there, Phil. There's 30 seconds away.
Each train's position is recorded automatically on a master track diagram in front of the controller, giving an instant visual location of all trains.
3006.
We've just up to the 104, Phil, to drop the boys off.
Stopped at 104. Roger, call you on the move, thanks.
Dampier Horror 719, standing at P04.
Where's 4040, Phil?
Good, say so.
I'll just hang on, I'll check his location now. 4040, Dampier.
Did you say there was a speed restriction at the 217 or thereabouts?
Negative 217.4 is for loaded only. Your location check, please.
62.
162 kilometre, Roger, thanks.
When the trains reach Dampier, they enter the yards and come under the yard control tower. The yard controller can see all the yard and maintenance areas from his tower, where he switches the lines and talks to the trains by radio.
Right, please.
East up to Bell, if possible, yes. But if you can give me the East Main Line as soon as you can up to 1330.
After each round trip, the locomotives are serviced in the maintenance shed. Hamersley Iron has 41 locos at present, costing $460,000 each. Even the ore cars cost $21,000 each. They have a total number of 1,860 cars in the fleet. The average distance travelled by the locos each year is 140,000 kilometres. The company is proud of its railway and does everything to encourage staff to take an active interest in the trains, as I found out when I spoke to Chief Train Controller Jack McKellar. Jack, you're the president of the Railway Historical Society at Dampier here. How did you come by the train?
Well, actually, the locomotive has been here since construction days. It was used on the construction of the track. The carriages only arrived last November. The company purchased them from New South Wales, and we're buying them back from the company to give recreation for people here in getting them operational, and also providing excursion trips to various places along the line, and hopefully in the future, if the demand is there, to provide a passenger service.
How many members would you have in the society?
We have about 110 at present.
That's not restricted to people on the railway here?
It's the Pilbara Railway Historical Society, which is open to all people in the Pilbara, as far as Headland, Parabadoo, Tom Price, the various mine sites, and local residents. It's not strictly railway.
What would James Bond say about this? Mabel is the oldest diesel-electric train in Australia. It was built in the United States in 1947. Mabel was used in the construction of the line from Tom Price. The carriages are from the New South Wales Government Railway, and the Historical Society plans to restore them to new condition in the near future. James Bond may not approve of Mabel, but he would of this, the Hamersley Railway's newest acquisition. A helicopter for checking the line after cyclones and heavy rain, or for flying maintenance crews out to a broken down loco.
Yeah, right, you got another one down on the...
Another method of checking the track is by using a high rail, a four-wheel drive fitted with retractable railway wheels. This is also a good method of moving about in this country after heavy rain has made the dirt roads impassable. The train crews consist of a driver and observer. Safety precautions are strict. For example, a driver alerter system is used which requires the driver to press a button every 60 seconds. Failure to do this activates an alarm which gives the driver 5 seconds to stop the automatic application of the brakes. The occasional accident has happened, caused mainly by track damage due to weather effects. Ted rides on the front of the loco to get a better look at some sections of the track where heavy rain fell overnight. Sidings are spaced at convenient intervals to allow the returning empty trains to pass the loaded ones. The Hamersley Railway operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. After a 6-hour trip, the train arrives at Dampier, where the iron ore cars are unhooked and shunted into the rotary car dumper. Two cars at a time are upended and emptied. They are then replaced in an upright position, ready for the gravity-fed loaded cars to bump the empties out the other side. The whole operation takes 45 seconds. This dumper can handle 5,000 tonnes per hour. The ore is moved by conveyor belts to a waiting ship. These ships load ore principally for Japan, but other markets are Europe, North America and Southeast Asia. For Ben McCarthy and all the train lovers in our audience, we have followed Hamersley Iron's longest train across the Pilbara.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, be in it and join in the fun. Travel all over Australia. Ask the Leyland brothers.